Hey, Jim here, Silver Forecast. This is a Silver Forecast update. So this morning we kind of got four big things that I think are affecting silver. And the big one this morning is March open interest coming up on Friday. We've been talking about this a lot. Friday is first notice day. And as of this morning, the most recent data in COMEX shows that there's about 150 million ounces open interest for Friday. So you may look at that and say, hey, well, there's only 87 million in registers sitting in COMEX waiting to be physically delivered. That's going to default. Well, it's probably not. There is heavy rolling going into future months like May, and the data starting to show that. Historically, it's been about 10 to 20% that goes to requested physical, and if it does that, it's still a stressful situation at the COMEX. But if it's 10 to 20%, you're still going to have about 65 to 75 million ounces at the COMEX. Now, if we start to get into 40% or 50%, then yeah, it's really stressed and really low amount of physical at COMEX, and that might move price. But as of right now, I think compared to default, which we've all been looking at, I think the current stress that we're going to see on Friday is probably already priced into the market. The next two, Iran and Mexico. So here's the thing, this is a silver channel, it's not a political channel, but here's the geopolitical thesis that I'm going with the Trump administration. We're not doing too good in the polls. So I'm thinking Trump is making a lot of moves with the idea that he might be a lame duck president come November. So I think a lot of these moves are being pushed. The war in Iran, the situation in Mexico, we saw it in Venezuela with Maduro. So I think a lot of these things, a lot of his core ideas for what he wants to do in his administration, he's pushing them now. So I think inevitably, a conflict with Iran is inevitable. The situation in Mexico, I think he's going to push that and try to get some resolution, before November. So looking at that, the second thing we're looking at is the peace talks in Iran. Now, inevitably, I think it's going to go to kinetic action. However, on Thursday, and he mentioned it in the State of the Union last night, that there are talks, and there's going to be Geneva talks going on right now. But on Thursday, apparently, he had focused on that. Then there was on the Iranian side, they said, hey, we're making progress in these talks. However, they did say that they believe they have the right to have these nuclear facilities. And that's Trump said, hey, you can't have those. So I believe inevitably when this comes out on Thursday, maybe that won't be as much pressure up for silver. It'll be pressure down. So those are two things. Got March open interest. I think it's going to be downward pressure, already priced into the market. And Iran, if there's any positive result, that's going to put lower pressure on silver. And then there's three, the situation in Mexico. That's going to, I think inevitably, that's going to get resolved with higher stress and tension. But as of right now, it seems to be stabilizing. And surprisingly, a lot of these silver stocks with Mexican exposure, Pan American Silver, Vassler Silver, Discovery Silver, they're trading up today, a lot. So I was shocked by that. I thought they would be trading down. But so you got that factor that seems to be stabilizing. Again, maybe a little lower stress on silver prices going into the end of the week. And the fourth and final thing is right now we're trading silver right around $90-91. So technically that's a technical resistance, almost a psychological resistance. So I think there's a reasonable chance with all these other factors that silver may have a pullback, a slight pullback, volatility on our way to this new price reality, which we totally agree with. We think silver price is going a lot higher, but on the way, surviving the middle, there's going to be a lot of that volatility. So again, this is for situational awareness only. Don't trade on this information. I do believe there's going to be a pullback, maybe to the mid 80s, trade in there before we go up to these new price reality. Take a look at morning signal. We're going to be monitoring these on a daily basis and having these quick updates as well. And hey, also take a look. I did a video on hedging in COMEX and how, you know, a lot of times it looks like, oh, it's speculators and short sellers. Well, that's all true, and it's I think they do manipulate a little bit, and they've been showing it's been shown in the past. However, a lot of that is just kind of commercial hedging and a lot of factors that we all need to take a look at. Take a look at that at the end here. I'll have a link to that. But other than that, morning signal and desk brief, Jim, silver forecast.